The story of Hagar, Ishmael, and God's promise to Abram. Abram was now growing old. Although he had great riches and many servants, he had no children. One night, while he lay asleep in his tent, God appeared to him in a vision. "Do not be afraid," God told him, "for I will protect you and will give you a great reward because you are faithful." "What will you give me for a reward?" Abram asked. And God answered that someday Abram should have a son. Then at God's request, Abram rose up and went outside his tent door and looked up at the starlit heavens. "The children of your family shall someday be as many as the stars, so many that no one can count them," God told Abram. Abram understood by this that God was speaking of the people who should someday possess Canaan's land, for they should be Abram's descendants. And Abram believed in the Lord, although he could not even see the beginning of that great family of promise. God also caused Abram to understand that there would be a time when the children of his family should become slaves in a strange land and should dwell there for 400 years. After that, they would return again to Canaan and possess the land for their own. When Abram returned to Canaan from Egypt, he brought with him an Egyptian servant girl named Hagar. He taught Hagar to know about the true God and to listen if God should speak to her. And Abram expected her to work faithfully for them. But one day, Hagar did not please her mistress Sarai, and she was punished. Hagar became very unhappy and decided to run away. Hagar hastened along the sandy desert road, and after a while she grew very tired, so she stopped to rest by a fountain of water along the roadside. In this lonely place in the deep wilderness, an angel of the Lord found her. "Hagar, Sarai's maid, where did you come from, and where are you going?" the angel inquired. "I am fleeing from my mistress," Hagar replied, "because I am so unhappy." "Return again," the angel said, "and try to please Sarai. After a while, God will give you a little son. He shall grow up to be a strong man, and he shall be called Ishmael." Hagar knew that this was a message from God, and she knew now that she could never run away from the Lord, because he could see her all the while. So she obeyed the angel's words and returned again to her mistress. Afterward, that fountain in the wilderness where the angel had found her was called Bir Lahairoi, a word which means a well of the living one who sees me. So after Hagar returned to Sarai, God gave her the child he had promised, and Abram named him Ishmael, which means God will listen. Hagar remembered that this was the name by which the angel had said the child should be called, and Abram loved Ishmael. The years passed until Abram was nearly 100 years old. Then God spoke to him again. Abram fell on his face and listened. God said, "I will make a bargain with you, Abram." God promised Abram that Sarai would have a son, and Abram promised to serve God faithfully. Then God said, "Your name shall no more be Abram, but Abraham, and your wife Sarai shall be called Sarah." Abraham means the father of many, and Sarah means princess. The end.